How we doing, baby?
Doing good. We're live.
Coming to you Wednesday around 4 o'clock. Sage, I'll be honest with you, man. You brought up streaming yesterday. Wasn't really down for it. I don't know, man. I just woke up today. This is a great day. And you came with some bullshit at me. You said, let's debate Brock Purdy and John Lynch. Is that you?
You good?
What's that?
What's what?
Is that coming from you?
No, nothing's coming from me. What are you talking about?
Are you fucking with me right now?
No, I'm not. You have the thing open. You gotta mute it, brother.
All right. We good. We good.
All right, I'll be running this shit next time I score.
No. But okay. Guys, we're coming to you today. We're going to do a little bit of a debate on Brock Purdy, whether the 49ers should extend her or not. Sage, there's really no Niner news going on right now. Like, today was like the slowest media day of all time. We had Kyle Shanahan do a presser and really didn't say shit. He really didn't do anything today in the presser.
Yeah, I mean, vibes are at an all-time low. What do you want him to say? We're on to Miami. Like, there's nothing really to cover with this team other than the fact that they're moving into the offseason. They're looking forward to their next moves, and they're just debating now if they want to pay their quarterback, which we'll get into. But what really is there? There's a Devontae Campbell discussion that's been overrun now, and there's the Purdy discussion, which is about to be shoved down our throats for the next, 4 months, and I'm excited to take part in it now. I'm excited to give my take, not just listen.
We're going to dive into that today. Sage, I was shocked when you brought this one up to me because I thought this guy was an untouchable, but you wanted to debate a little bit of a John Lynch conversation. So John Lynch, the guy who came in 2017 with Kyle Shanahan, the guy who took us from one of the worst rosters in the league to what we have now, coming off of 5 straight years of making NFC Championship games and Super Bowls. You wanted to bring the debate here. I don't know your take yet. I don't know if we're going to be the same take, but Sage, is John Lynch overrated?
Is this where we want to start?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's start off with John Lynch, and then as people flow in, we're going to get into the Purdy conversation. That's going to be the meat of the convo.
All right, so let me give some background on this. So I think it was Monday morning, wake up, check my phone, see any updates. What do I see? 49ers release waive Ambry Thomas, right? He tweeted that thing on Saturday. It was send me home or I'm going home, something like that. Sends a cryptic tweet, clearly not happy. I don't think he's played a snap for the Niners. And so I was just looking at it. I'm like, okay, second day pick, 3rd round pick, Ambry Thomas. What do I know him for? The guy who got cooked by Stephon Diggs, the guy who couldn't see the field and made one highlight play. Was it week 18 versus the Rams? Intercepted the Hail
Got us
Mary
into the
punt.
playoffs, baby. He got us into the playoffs.
On a ball that anyone but Jaquaski Tart or Talano Hufanga could have caught. Any reasonable corner probably makes that catch, but you go down for plays like that. You made the catch. That's all that matters. It's not guaranteed. So I take a look. I'm like, all right. So that's 2nd day pick, right? Out the window. And I start just going through it, Chase. Do you want to go through it? Should we bring up the receipts? Should we say
you go ahead, baby? Hey, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Feel free.
Chase, I'm not going to look into. I'll tie it in, but because what's John Lynch really known for? It's finding those diamonds, right? Rounds 4 or 5, those 3rd day draft picks.
Diamonds in the rough, baby.
At the end of the day, it only gets you so far if your first 2 days are dog shit, right? Would you agree with that?
This is your monologue. Go ahead. Keep it going.
Takes over in 2017. His 1st round picks. Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, noted to have insane issues.
Not good.
Solomon Thomas, they were all in on him. They didn't even scout quarterbacks when they were in need of a quarterback. Whatever. We'll wait for Kirk Cousins.
Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson in that draft as well.
Yes.
Looking back on it, I think that's honestly an underrated bad part of the Shanahan-Lynch era. Just like you had the 2nd pick traded down to the 3rd pick.
Exactly. It started.
You still could have gotten him. You still could have fucking got Mahomes.
But you don't even scout him. And then you have GMs, like smart people around the league, Sean Payne saying, "Oh my God, like if we had a crack at Mahomes," like people saying, like, "Yeah, this like Deshaun."
Isn't that funny though? How Sean Payne comes out with that like 2-3 years later.
Yeah, and then but you have guys like saying like, "Oh, Deshaun," like was it Dabo said Deshaun's like Michael Jordan. right? Obviously, it didn't play out too well, but those first 2 years,
Michael Jordan, a what? Asian massage parlors?
But like at first, it played out well, right? Like Deshaun, those first 2 years before all that bullshit, look good. Whatever. That's your first round. Your second day, you get a Kello. You trade up to get CJ Beathard. You could say that was Shanahan. I'd agree. You basically go 0 for 4 there. Would we agree on that?
I'd agree. That's 0 for 4.
The next year, your first 2 rounds or your first 2 days, you get Mike McGlinchey. Fine. Solid right tackle. He was good enough. Was he top 10? Hell fucking no. Did any scout or analyst that you listen to on the radio talk about the Niners taking Mike McGlinchey or anyone taking Mike McGlinchey anywhere in the top 15? No. The Niners were slated. They could have taken Minkah Fitzpatrick. There were so many good players there left.
Did they have Derwin? Wasn't Derwin out there too?
I think Derwin went before. Or yeah, no, Derwin went in like the 20s, right?
I think he was like 13. I
Maybe.
could be wrong.
Oh, you honestly, it sounds right. I'll classify it as a miss. Dante Pettis. We talked about it in our starting 5 of hated Niners. Terrible miss. Tarvarius Moore, and you fall ass backwards into Fred Warner. Praise your stars, brother.
Shut the fuck up, Sage. Okay.
Praise your stars.
I was letting you talk, but come on. Fell ass backwards into Fred Warner. What does that mean?
It means you have one good pick in the first 2 days of the first 2 drafts you're the GM in charge of, and it happens to be the last guy. If you thought Fred Warner was going to be this good, you take him in the second round.
Come on, Sage.
Okay.
Are we dissing guys for taking Hall of Famers in the third round?
Chase, 1 for 8. And I don't even know if Fred Warner was a Hall of Famer, but 1 for 8.
I think so. I think he's well on his way to being a Hall of Famer.
2019, this is probably your best draft, right? You get Greenlaw in the 5th, but your first 2 days, you go Bosa, Debo, Jalen Hurd, and then Wisnowski was your 4th round pick.
Defensive player of the year, all pro wide receiver. Not terrible.
Yeah, you had the second pick in the draft. Anyone would have drafted him there, but congratulations, you didn't mess this one up. You got Nick Bosa 2 years following getting Solomon Thomas. So you get Nick Bosa, you get Debo Samuel. We'll call that 3 for 11 on your first 2 days. And that's your peak right there, because it gets really bad after that.
Sage, 3 of 11 in baseball, you're a Hall of Famer.
Okay. No, you're not. 3 of 10, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Chase.
We're in the OBP era now.
So 2020, you have 2. Kinlaw, Ayuk. Call it a split. Ayuk, I'll call it a split, but it was bad because you had your chance to take Justin Jefferson. You had your chance to take Tristan Wirfs. You had your chance to take CeeDee Lamb. You trade back. You trade back the Kinlaw.
That's loaded. That's loaded, Sage. They picked Jefferson before the pick.
They had the pick. They've traded back. They want
more picks, baby. Hey, dude, it takes a roster, man.
Okay.
It takes a roster.
Yeah. So you split it. 4 for 13. I'll give it to you. 4 for 13. Sound good? You still a Hall of Famer, Chase?
Currently, no. But let's see what happens.
So this is when you get into your Aaron Rodgers post Achilles, Shaq Celtics era here. Your next draft, the COVID draft, if you want to call it that. Ambry Thomas, Trey Sermon, Aaron Banks, Trey Lance. Those are 4 for 17. The next year, Drake Jackson, Tyrion Davis Price, Danny Gray. And also, I'll be generous here. Trey Lance, he should count for 3. Straight up, he should count for 3. But he doesn't. He should, but he doesn't. So now you're at what? 4 for 20. 4 for 20. The next year, you don't have a first round pick. You don't have a second round pick. You trade them all for Trey Lance. Cameron Latu, Jake Moody, Jair Brown. 4 for 23. And then this year, Dominic Pooney, Renardo Green, Ricky Pearsall. 5 for 26. You're 5 for 26.
You're saying all-time draft picks 5 out of 26.
In the first 2 days where you get your blue chippers, where you build a roster.
Okay.
I'm saying what John Lynch has done well for this team is he's made good trades. He's seen value in guys on the trade market. Your Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey's. And I get it. Sometimes
you're glossing over the fact that he got one of the okay. Hold on.
Sage,
I gotta stop. I gotta stop you for a second.
I just went for fucking 5 minutes. I was waiting for you to chime in, so go for it.
Well, hold on. You were going through every fucking draft. I wasn't gonna stop you, but
go
hold on.
For it. Go.
Okay. Do I have the floor now? Permission to go ahead?
The floor is yours.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take it right back from you.
What you just said. You were like, he's been solid at trades. Sage. He got Trent Williams, who honestly looked like he was going towards the end of his career. Did not have a good couple last years in Washington. Now we're talking about him as one of the best offensive linemen in the league. I think these were the first 4 or first 3 all-pro teams he's ever made. all on the
I don't know if that's
49ers.
true. Maybe.
That's a fucking great trade. That's a great trade. You got the best left tackle in football. Then you trade for Christian McCaffrey, who had an injury history. No one really knew if he was injury prone, if he was going to be able to stay on the field. You took a chance. I mean, we know what happened this year, so it doesn't look as good now. But first 2 years, you could argue he was the best player in football. Last year, he was the offensive player of the year in football. Not that bad at trades. Not that bad at trades.
No, not bad. No. But you got to crush it in the draft. Like, okay, to be fair.
Okay, hold on.
You could make trades when you know what guys are at.
Can I continue? You
may speak. You may speak.
Okay.
Say it again.
So 2017. I know you just glossed over. You had a little red herring there, Sage. You had a little red herring, just kind of poo-pooing. Oh, yeah, second day draft, they do pretty solid. But blue chippers, first 2 days of the draft, they don't do that well. Sage.
Third day. Yeah,
Sage.
It's echoing, by the way.
Why is it echoing?
I don't know.
Chad, are you hearing an echo?
Yeah, let us know if you're hearing an echo. It went away now. Okay,
is Sage trying to throw me off my game right now because I was cooking so hard? But, all right, let's hear it. Okay. So, Sage, I'm just going to keep on going. But
go.
2017, man. 2017, you get in there. Keep in mind, you have one of the worst rosters in football.
You inherit DeForest Buckner. You inherit Eric Armstead. Go.
Sage, you had the worst team in the NFL with Chip Kelly. I think they won 2 to 3 games. There was relatively no young talent that was really known on that team. Okay. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan come in there. First off, they're like, we want to get a culture. We want to bring in a lot of guys who are just tough-nosed football players. We want to build a culture and identity. So, who did they draft in the 5th round that year, Sage? You argued a couple days ago that this guy was probably the 3rd best tight end in NFL history, George Kittle. I mean, Sage, no credit for that one?
I'm not saying no credit.
Shitty GM for that one, overrated on that one?
What have you done for me lately?
DJ Jones in the 6th round, also a good pick. 2018.
Hall of Fame level draft.
2018, Fred Warner. Best middle linebacker of the past 10 years? Yes or no?
Question? Is this a question?
That's a question, yes.
Bobby Wagner. Next question.
Okay. We'll gloss by that. I guess if it's not Bobby Wagner, it's Fred Warner. Can we agree on that? 2019, yes. I'm not even including Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, Dre Greenlaw in the 5th round. I mean, we saw the impact that losing a guy like Dre Greenlaw had on this season. That guy's a dog. I'm pretty sure he's an all-pro or an all-star level middle linebacker. Clearly, if you're looking for a guy, if you're looking for a guy to bring an identity and build a culture, that's one of the guys. And then I'm just going to list off the last couple because we're going a little bit long here, but Jawan Jennings in the 7th round, 2020. He's your number 1 wide receiver now. That's a fucking steal, Sage. You don't ever see 7th round wide receivers getting picked that late, being that good. 5th round, the next year, Deommodore Lenoir. You just signed him to $90 million. I bet you he's on an all-pro team at the end of this year. So you got an all-pro corner in the 5th round.
No way he's on the all-pro team. No way in hell he's an all-pro level player.
Is he a Pro Bowler?
Okay. No. Honestly, no. I don't think he's a Pro Bowler either.
I think he is, Sage. I mean, the guy got $15 million a year. They
I have to scope the NFC, but no way he's a Pro Bowler.
Scope the NFC. Look at PFF like you usually do.
Yeah, that's the same division as Zion
See what
McCollum.
Their rankings are, and then you could rank it. But Deommodore Lenoir, Sage, Talanoa Hufanga, that is the first-team All-Pro. That's in the 5th round that year. Elijah Mitchell, multiple years with 1,000 rushing yards. The next year, Brock Purdy. We're going to get into him. Quarterback.
Multiple years with 1,000 rushing yards for Elijah Mitchell.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. 1 or he was close to 2. And then Brock Purdy in the MVP conversation last year.
So do the first 3 rounds not matter to you?
Sage, what I'm saying is that, in all honesty, yes, they missed some picks. All the ones that you said. Trey Lance, bad. Javon Kinlaw, Dante Pettis, Solomon Thomas, bad. But
fact check. Elijah Mitchell has never ran for 1,000 yards.
Hold on. When you're getting Hall of Famers.
We keep making up stats.
I'm saying, Sage, come on, man. You know that a lot of these guys that they're drafting are Hall of Famers.
I understand this, but brother, you can't be missing in the first 3 rounds. This is where you
what's
build
your point,
roster.
Sage? What's your point? Fire him?
What?
Well, what's your
point?
No,
I'm saying like we got to put him in check. What have you done for me lately? Bro, what have you done for me lately?
They've had one of the best rosters in the league the past 3 years.
But they're old and they
what
have
else
no
do you want him
replacements.
to do?
Look at how bleak it looks. Look at how bleak it looks right now. What is the young talent on this team? Look at the
Sage,
Eagles.
It's not that bleak. Sage, open your
It's pretty
eyes.
bleak.
Open the windows. The sun's shining outside.
No, it's
Even
not.
though we
It's
hold on.
not.
Even though we had a bad year, Sage, you still got key cornerstone pieces across the roster.
Name one under 25.
Fred Warner, Nick Bosa.
Under 25.
Why does it have to be under 25? What? I can't have a guy who's 27
Because the team's
as
old
a fucking
and
stud
injured.
on the team?
Look at how injured
you're
are.
pit pattern. You're like a fucking Republican doing.
No,
what
I'm
is
not.
That called?
Look at how
when
old
they
the
do that
team
on the
is.
maps.
They're
That's what
injury
you're doing
prone
right
now. They're injury prone now. They keep getting injured. They keep getting injured now. It happens. The bill comes due, and you have no way to lateral. There's no young talent. No one to like lean your hat on. I'm just saying they missed their window, and these past 4 years the drafts have been awful. You got to kind of like blame this guy. Like the big moves have been trades where it's like
You said the last 4 years of draft are awful, and that's just not true. Like
it
I said,
is. How could you miss? Okay,
you have Diamador Lenore, Talanoa Hufanga, Brock Purdy, Malik Mustafa, Dominic Pooney. Like those are not bad picks, Sage. Like
okay,
look
but
across the league.
You also have Pearsall, Renardo Green.
Who are you comparing this to? Like what
Who do you
other
want to compare it to?
What other GMs? What other teams are fucking killing the Niners in the draft the past 7 years?
I mean, you could just look at the Eagles.
Who's on that level?
Competition?
Also, bringing a guy like Christian McCaffrey in, that happened 2 years ago.
I understand this. So what
You're
have you
acting
gone
like
from?
they've
You
been
extended
dead
him and he played 1.5 games.
You're acting like they've been dead at the wheel for the past 2 years, 4 years, not doing anything.
No, Chase, I'm just saying his drafts are really bad, but everything outside of that I really love. Like I'm just saying, like I'm not saying fire him. I'm just saying maybe put him in check a little bit because this is the guy, you're trusting to build your franchise, build your roster out. But what have you done for me lately? It's a year-to-year, week-to-week league. And it's just been really bad recently. The Trey Lance thing, obviously it sets you back. Was it him? Was it Kyle? No one knows. Jed and those two know, and that's it, right? But everything else, like Pearsall, you got to say John Lynch probably has final say on it, right? Or do you think it's Kyle? It's an offensive player. I guess the easy way to go about it, because they're so, hand in hand with everything, is you kind of put the offensive players on Kyle, the defensive players on Lynch. Would you kind of agree with that methodology, or do you think it's a little more Lynch than Kyle?
No, I'd say for offensive players, I think Kyle definitely has more of a say in who they pick.
So you get Mustafa this draft, the Javon Kinlaw pick, the Solomon Thomas pick, right? Obviously,
but also when I say that, I think that Lynch is involved in everything as well. I don't think
I do agree. No, I agree.
Situation where he's just fucking facing the wall in the corner kind of
it's
situation
not 0-100
with offensive players.
It's not 0-100. So like those running back picks, right? The back-to-back years in the third round, you go Trey Sermon, Tyrion Davis-Price. Neither of them really even make your roster. They probably get, I would bet that Tyrion Davis-Price and Trey Sermon have less than 20 carries combined, maybe touches total. I don't even know what their snap count would be. But the receiver picks, they're terrible, right? Jalen Hurd, Ricky Pearsall, Dante Pettis since you take over.
Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
Debo Samuel, all pros. Sorry.
Fine.
Did you forget those two? Did you just happen to forget those two?
But when you're drafting him at such a high clip, like Ricky, okay, how about this? Ricky Pearsall. Like, what's that? In the first round, when you have leads all across the board.
He's a fucking rookie. Who knows?
He
could end up being a good player.
With corners and receivers, I feel like you kind of just know right away.
I disagree. I feel like wide receivers take a big jump year two.
I don't know about that.
I've seen that across the board.
Okay, like recently, like I don't know the receiver who's taken the huge leap year two. I feel like you know or you don't. Puka Nacua last year was a stud.
Brandon Ayuk.
I guess we could go. Brandon Ayuk was different though. He was kind of doghoused and he didn't have the opportunity.
Stop, Sage. Stop.
He just didn't have snaps.
That's a perfect example on this own team.
But there's more examples. Okay. Put your eggs.
He gets 1,000 yards.
Put your eggs in the Ricky Pearsall. Put your eggs in the Ricky Pearsall basket. We'll see how far it gets you.
I'm not going to call him dead.
I'm going to call him dead. I'm going to say he's like for a first round pick, you could tell he's not big. I don't think he has that good of hands. Is his route running crisp? It seems like this guy can't get open. And on top of that, he's had all the opportunities since he's been back from IR. He's basically been leaned on to be the wide receiver too.
I've seen some flash in that. And I think this Kyle Shanahan offense is, I mean, in that Tampa Bay game, he had a couple catches where he looked really good.
And he gets open sometimes.
Like,
I understand.
You're gonna win this. You're gonna win this conversation now because he's had fucking 3 games without a catch. But all I'm saying is that we've seen this in Kyle Shanahan's offense, where for rookie wide receivers like with Brandon Ayuk, it's taken at least a year for them to really develop and be a key part of this offense. It's different than being in college. It's different than being on the Florida Gators. I'll admit, not looking like the best pick right now, but I think it's
Drake
still
Jackson?
I think it's still too early to use it as evidence that Lynch has been fucking up in the draft and that this is another busted
So
first
you're
round pick.
willing to write Drake May, Caleb Williams off after seeing them for 2 drives, but then with guys like Ricky Pearsall, it's okay.
I love Drake
Let's
May.
give him a year.
Confirmed.
Okay,
Love Drake May.
Okay, now you do. But after his first drive, like, this guy's a bust. Like with Caleb, like, this guy's a bust. I get it. Let it play out. But I feel like receivers, corners, those are the positions where they're at their best in their first 3 or 4 years. Maybe
You're
we have a
being
different philosophy.
You're being
Maybe we have
overly
different-
critical.
I
You know
am.
you are.
I
You know
am, but
you are.
I'm looking at the roster and I'm just seeing, like, if we pay Purdy, what are the cuts we're going to have to make, right? You're looking, what are you going to have to do, right? How are you going to trim the fat? And I'm like, okay, obviously the 2 easy ones are, right? Hargrave, Debo. That's what everyone's saying. I mean, I'm not a fucking cat
Hold on,
expert.
hold on,
I'm
hold
not
on,
Parag
Sage.
Jr.
You're going into what they should do next year. We're
No,
just
I'm
having
just
a
saying,
we're just
when
having a
they do
conversation
this,
about John
who's
Lynch.
the next guy up? Like, who's the next guy up? I just feel like this team lacks young talent. Like, you look at the Eagles, right? The team, the class of the NFC. Look at the fucking Lions. Look at the young studs they have all along their roster, right? Hutch, Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, guys that they drafted within the last 3 years. Who do the Niners have that's anywhere near that level? The Eagles, they have their 2 corners, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. They have guys like all around. Their new, is it their left tackle? They have guys that they just drafted, these corners.
But you're acting like these guys like Fred and Dre Greenlaw, who've only been in the league for like 5 years, are old. Where they're not old. They're like 28
I don't think
years
they're
old.
okay. I get it, but
So
it's like,
you're acting like they're 32.
Once it hits
like
30,
they're about 4 years away from being old, Sage. Like, just because they're under fucking 25 or 26 does not mean that they're old. Like, these guys are still in the prime of their career. I'm telling you.
Fred,
Hey,
I agree.
Sage, 4 years down
I don't
the
know
road.
about Greenlaw.
4 years down the road, probably agree with you. If we still have this lineup, they're fucking old. We should move off of them. But I'm just saying, man, over the next 2-3 years, this is a good base to build with. You got some great players there.
I don't think it's.
You
I
have a
don't think it's
defensive player of the
build.
year. You have
I think it's an all-in.
Fred Warner. You have 2 guys that you're going to sign in the secondary who are young and talented. You have Trent Williams still. You have Christian McCaffrey. We know that he's injured this year, but he avoided season-ending injury. I think that they're just resting him up. You still have a lot of good pieces. You just need to trim the fat, like you said. Draft. You got to hit on your draft picks, as always.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is like,
that's just
can
the
we hit
case
on our
in the
draft
NFL.
picks? Can we hit on our draft picks?
Yes, Sage. Oh my God.
What is this? 2019? We could hit on our draft picks back then. We haven't really had like a good stud, like a big stud. Who's our gem these past 3 years? Dominic Pooney?
Brock Purdy in the fucking last pick.
Who you want to get rid of? Who we're about to talk about how you don't want to sign?
No.
Who the whole fan base doesn't want to sign?
Sage, come on, man. Drafting a guy like Brock Purdy, 7th round, you got to give a guy credit.
That is the definition of ass backwards. And you know damn well Lynch didn't make that
Also,
pick. It was
Deommodore Lenoir. Stud cornerback. We've been talking about how we
all
love
pro,
him all year.
All pro corner.
I think so. I literally think that he's going to be.
How could you be an all pro corner when you're on a defense that bad?
Because there's 11 fucking players on the field, Sage. It's not just one quarterback that determines everything.
That is
unless you fucking forgot.
Yeah, okay. Deommodore Lenoir as an all pro is a mild take.
Talanoa Hufanga, is he an all pro?
He was, but not anymore.
Sage, I thought he looked great.
He did, but he doesn't get like, God, dude, this is my thing, is they don't stay on the field. They're all hurt. They're all fucking hurt.
I mean, yes, this year's been a year from hell when it comes to injuries. This has been a year from hell when it comes to injuries. But Sage,
last year.
Also, I have another thing with John Lynch that we're kind of not bringing up. Like you said,
the culture and everything. I do.
Yeah, but hold on. Don't get into here before I have something to say. But you know what I mean. Shanahan does have a lot of input on the personnel, like we brought up. What else is the GM's job related to?
Setting the culture.
Culture, front office. What was it before you got there?
I 8-miled you.
What?
No,
yeah,
you
did. Yeah, you did. You did. But
no, I get it. Trust me, that's what I'm saying, I mean. Bro. It's like Kyle.
Hold on.
Take the good with the bad.
Sage.
Don't ask me a question and then cut me off.
Hold on. Be honest with me. Lynch is a great face and spokesperson for the Niners, right?
He is.
He allows for Shanahan to only focus on football-related things. That's big. Also, everybody that he's had in his front office, Ron Carthon, he's the Titans GM right now. Adam Peters, he's running the Washington Commanders. The other guy that was beneath Adam Peters, he's with him at the Commanders. When I think it was a poll by all these agents saying that basically the best organization to work with is the 49ers. That's part of the GM's job too. So when you're saying is he overrated, as a GM, it seems like he's just knocking out of the ballpark all across the way. His team wins consistently. He's built up one of the best rosters in the NFL. I will admit that Shanahan deserves some of the credit for that, but also the blame. And he has he has a great front office. So I just don't think that John Lynch is even in the top 10 guys that you got to point fingers at. Yes, has he had mistakes? Of course. Of course. Whenever someone's in a position for 7 years, you're going to be able to find some mistakes. But Sage, with some of the success that they've had in the draft, especially in the later rounds, like we brought up, they've had more misses in early rounds. You can't just gloss over that. You can't gloss over that. It's at least 5 or 6 All-Pros past the 4th round. That does not happen at all.
Yeah, but how are you so bad at the easy picks, right? I feel like the 1 through 3, and also like I know like this is so broad, and I hate doing this because like I hate when other people do this, but because there's an unknown, right? You're just projecting, you're just saying what you want to say, but those late round picks, I really don't think they're Lynch. I think once it gets past 5, 6, 7, it's more the scouts. Like Brock Purdy. Do I really think Brock?
What are we talking about? Sage, what are we doing?
Okay, here? I just said I don't like doing this.
Fucking
clue. But do you really? Yeah,
no
that's what I said. Neither do you. You have no clue either. You're just saying shit. Do you really think
you're just saying that you're going to give credit to the
fucking
scouts?
Do you fucking listen? Holy shit.
You're literally giving credit to the scouts.
For Brock Purdy, like a 7th round quarterback.
That's what you're doing right now.
I don't think that was a Lynch pick. I think like someone like that, that's somewhere where you have your scouting department. I don't know the guy's name, but there's been reports like there was a certain scout who banged the table for Brock Purdy. I'm just saying, like when it comes to this, right? There's other things too. Like for this draft, it's not all Lynch Shanahan. There's these scouts for these late round picks. Guy like
what are your takes right now? What are your takes right now? You're basically not giving them any credit for drafting future Hall of Famers late in the draft, and you're saying that, oh, by the way, those great guys that they picked that are all pros that are leading the team right now.
No, that's not what I said. I just said Brock Purdy.
Probably just because of the fucking.
I just said Brock Purdy. Actually, if you listen, I just said Brock Purdy. Thank you for listening. Anyways, yeah, I don't think Brock Purdy was a John Lynch.
It's crazy that you're taking
that. I don't think Brock Purdy was a John Lynch pick. Put me on the cross, nail me if I'm wrong, but I'll go to my grave with that one. All right, I think we spent 30 minutes on this.
All right, I know. So okay, let's wrap this up in like kind of like I know we were going all over the place there, but so
healthy
because
debate.
You're the negative guy, I think that we should just roll as as it's been going. I have no problem with John Lynch. Hold on. So what do you do if you're having problems with John Lynch? What do you do?
You got to keep him. You got to keep him. But I think it's just my way of saying.
I thought you were going crazy there for a second.
No. This is my way because I think I've really come around to this. We're like, this is my way of kind of saying like, I don't get like the media just keep coming after Kyle, when I think he's kind of working with broken parts here. Like I really do. Like it just seems like all the media is coming after him, but what is he really working with? That defense is garbage. The defense is garbage. The offense, you saw what they were throwing out there, right? You're relying on Ronnie Bell to make key catches down the field to win games. I'm just saying, I think it's a personnel issue. I think the personnel, and I know Shanahan sets it, but what is he working with, right? There's bad players getting key minutes in key spots, and I think it all falls on Kyle. And I was just sitting there because I'm thinking, like, do I want to fire Kyle? Honestly, I'm like, fuck no. I think he's a great coach, but I'm like, I think Lynch has to step his shit up. And like, that's like, Chase, I know I texted you this out of left field and you're like, what the fuck? Like, where's this guy going to go with it? That was my thought process with it. When I saw that Ambry Thomas, another day 2 pick, got waived before ever making an impact. So I just went into the research. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can make an argument out of this. And I don't know. I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is, Sage.
I know I'm in the minority here too.
Hold on. I mean, they made it to 4 NFC Championship games within the past 5 years, 2 Super Bowls. 10 months ago, we're in the Super Bowl. Everybody was kind of agreed that they had one of the best rosters in the league. You just admitted that the culture that he's built, one of the best in the league. And he's had guys getting picked away from his front office to lead other front offices across the league. So,
did you just get that alert?
What alert?
Gabe McCaffrey was banned from their chat and their comments are removed.
Oh no! Sorry, Gabe McCaffrey. I don't know what
that was
McCaffrey
you.
said.
That's why you didn't get the alert. You fucking did it. Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
But all right, Sage. All right, Sage. Why don't we flick the ticker rubber? That was pretty good for the John Lynch conversation, but
we'll get
I think this is what the people came here for, right? I mean, when
at each other,
like 100%, like this has to be the number one topic across 49ers media. Are they going to extend Purdy?
Yes, sir.
What are they going to do with Purdy? Are you going to draft a guy? Are you going to let him play out the last year of his contract? Are you going to sign him now? Are you going to sign him to $65 million, to $45 million? A lot of different takes, a lot of different opinions. A lot of them have switched over the past 5 weeks. Sage, go ahead, my man. What do we do with Brock Purdy? Should the 49ers extend Brock Purdy?
I think I took the floor last time. You want me to go again? I feel like I'm getting tired of my own voice here.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to cop out here. I'm just going to say neither. Let him play out the last year. Let him play out the last year of his contract.
Okay.
I think this is a wasted year at this point, right? You got the Debo situation. You got like all this off-field shit. He looks terrible, but I think you got to play it out, right? You got to just see what next year's about. You could pay him early, and if he turns out, like the only benefit you have to paying him early, I think, is if he turns out next year he's a stud. And you're like, okay, we saved whatever the market's going to be next year when it goes up. We don't have to pay him that. Other than that, there's really no benefit to paying him early. What is he going to do? Hold out? Like, is he really going to hold out on you? I don't think it's in him to hold out. I don't think he can hold out. I don't think he can afford to miss game checks. I really don't. Especially if no one ends up paying him. He's just like he's still got to prove it. So he's not going to hold out on you. I think it's make him play out the last year of his rookie contract. If you still don't know, you could franchise tag him, but I don't think you should do that. But I'm just saying you don't have to pay him now. You shouldn't pay him now. I don't know why this is such a hot topic that he should be paid right now. It's not even just Niners media. It's national media talking about it. And I think it's because like a Niners beat writer just falsely reported because no one backed it up. There was no Jay Glazer, no Rappaport, no Schefter, that Purdy's seeking $60 million, top of the market. And then I didn't see any report after it since Tuesday. So I don't know. I think you have to let him play it out. If the decision were on my table today, I would not pay him though. I don't know how you feel about that.
Okay, so we're going to have to adjust this a little bit because what I'm going to say is, Sage, that I agree with you. Would I sign him this year? Probably not. Right? I mean, I'm not jumping on the fucking table waiting to sign him for 4 years, $65 million. I don't think anybody is. The reality is that paying Brock Purdy $65 million a year to be your quarterback is going to be a hard pill to swallow. Is he really worth 25% of your team's cap? No, he's not. But every quarterback in the league that's worth a damn is getting that kind of money. So you got to think about it, Sage. You're saying, what do they have to lose? Or what do they have to gain by signing Brock Purdy to a $65 million a year contract this year? What's the likely scenario that's going to play out next year, Sage? After next year? Like, what happens after next year, no matter what, with the quarterback position for the 49ers?
Assuming he's not signed, right?
Yeah. That he plays it out.
Him. They're saying that he plays that. They're going to sign him, or they're just going to let him go.
Exactly. So this is the thing, Sage. The 49ers, within the next 2 years, are going to sign Brock Purdy to a major extension. That's my belief. I don't think that they're going to go to the draft to draft a guy. I've been looking through all the quarterbacks in the league currently right now. I'll be honest. I haven't done my draft conversation yet, but I think
much to do.
I think the Niners are looking at about a 3-year window with this roster before it really gets to a shitty part where you really got to kind of blow it up or retool it to a point where you're pushing the can down the road a couple of years. What I'm saying is that you got to sign Brock Purdy. No, but you got to sign Brock Purdy.
You're saying you do it now.
I'm saying do it now. I'm saying do it now because all you're going to do is make it more expensive next year. That's really all you're going to do. Because if you reset the market this year, eventually it's going to be only about the 10th most expensive contract in the NFL down the road.
Okay.
And if you just wait a year, then you're just going to make it even more expensive.
I understand that, but I don't even think it's more so about a price thing, right? Like you look at like the teams that extend their quarterbacks too early, right? The Dolphins, the Jags, the Cowboys. Right now, right? They would all take those contracts back, except maybe the Jags. But I think if you offered the Cowboys to take back the Dak contract, if you offered the Dolphins to take back the Tua contract, they do it in the snap of a finger. So this is what I was thinking. Because I was like, look at the quarterbacks who have gotten paid, right? Trevor Lawrence, 5 years, $275 million, $55 per year. Jordan Love, 4 years, $220 million, $55 per year. Looks like that actually might have worked out. Dak, we know he's getting $60 million, Tua, $53 million. What's the common theme here, right? Shitty franchises and then the Packers who got lucky. Well, in my opinion. And you just look at like the well-run organizations. Look at the Ravens. Lamar won an MVP, was on the second to last year. He was in the same position Brock is, where he's due for the extension. What do they say? Wait. They made him wait. They made him play out the year.
But what they eventually do, Sage, they just made him more expensive on themselves.
But wouldn't you rather pay him knowing you have it? Because then there was they were not even hesitant. They're like, take it. Like, you earned it. Take it. We wanted to see it. You got it. Right? We took the training wheels off. We made you pass. We put you in a non-run heavy offense. He stopped running the ball as much. They let him pass. They saw, do you know what? We have something special here. We're gonna fucking pay this guy. And they haven't looked back on it since, right? Their patience paid off for them. So you look at the teams that pay early, like I said, the Dolphins. Would they take it back? Fuck yeah, they would. The Jags, the Cowboys just made Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in league history. Chase, they were 3-5 with him. They are 3-3 without him. 3-3 without him, 3-5 with him.
I mean, there's some bad ones, man. I mean, you got Kirk making $45 million, you got Derek Carr making $50 million. But when you just look at it like that, right? Derek Carr making $50 million a year. Brock Purdy's getting 60. Brock Purdy's getting 65. And the reality is, Sage, he'll get that on the open market. So if you're Kyle Shanahan,
do you really think that?
Yeah, I do. If people are paying Kirk Cousins before this offseason, $45 million a year for 40 years, I do think that there's going to be at least one or two teams that are going to pay that amount for Brock Purdy. And if somebody's willing to pay you $60 million a year, that's your value.
But who do you think would do it? The only team I saw that I think makes sense is the Saints. Other than that, like, who needs a quarterback that you could see paying Purdy? The Giants? He can't throw in cold weather. It'd have to be a
Raiders. Would you see the Raiders doing it?
Yeah, but then it's like you have to go to Kansas City. You know what I mean?
What about the Dolphins?
I can't see an AFC team doing it. Yeah. I can't see an AFC team doing it because they play in cold weather more so. And if you're just a dumb franchise and you realize this guy can't throw unless the conditions are perfect, then you just don't deserve your job. Every Niners fan who's honest and not named David Lombardi will tell you this guy cannot throw in the heat. He cannot throw in the cold. He cannot throw on a train. He cannot throw on a fucking plane. This guy needs everything to be perfect weather-wise. He hasn't done it this year without his convoy of like perfect weapons, right? So what's to say he goes to say the Saints and he's worth that contract? You're just stuck with a bad contract. I don't even think they could pay him because of how fucked their cap situation is. Like, I get it. You're fearful. He's going to hold out, whatever. I'll be damned if I
don't think he would do a major holdout. I really don't.
See, that's the thing though, too, is I don't
see him sitting out week one.
No, I don't. But that's the topic I'm seeing. And I'm not addressing you here. I'm kind of addressing the media when they say like, what if he holds out on you? I'll be damned if I'm going to let Brock Purdy and his agent hold me over a barrel, gun to my head, holding me hostage. That's reserved for guys like Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, who, if I put him on the open market, fuck Deebo Samuel. We were offered the 10th pick by the Jets, the 10th pick in the draft by the Jets for Deebo Samuel. Trent Williams, trading for a first-round pick tomorrow. Nick Bosa, trading for 2 first-round picks. Brock Purdy, what's he getting us in the trade market? Like, I'm not going to be fucking held over a barrel by that guy, especially when I just don't think he deserves it. Like, I get it. That's what quarterbacks make. You can say it. It's the position, but what can you fetch? What is actually your value? And if another team wants to pay you, another team could pay you. There's a lot of parallels between the NBA. When you get fucked, is it when you pay Steph Curry $60 million a year? No, it's when you pay Michael Porter Jr., Klay Thompson $40 million a year. That's when you get fucked. Same thing in the NFL. When do the Dolphins get fucked? Cut back on the defense, right? Because you paid your quarterback. The Jags, right? Pay Trevor Lawrence, can't make as many free agent moves. You get fucked. Your team's not as skilled, and you have a mid quarterback.
Okay, this is what I'll say, Sage. I expect the Niners to play hardball a little bit. I really do. I mean, they did it with Trent.
They're good at it.
They played hardball. No, I mean, they always kind of bail in, but think about it. Jerry Jones did the same thing with Dak Prescott. The Redskins, RIP that name, but did that with Kirk Cousins back in the day. A lot of these teams are accepting that they really don't want to pay these quarterbacks, but they always come to the point that they really have to. The Niners have been good, and they're not just going to hand out free money. They're just not going to give money to even guys like Trent Williams, guys like Deebo Samuel, right? I mean, they've been doing this for the past 5 years, so I expect them to play hardball a little bit, but Sage, say after next year, maybe Brock has a similar year. Then what do you do? What's the next best situation for the 49ers? If Brock maybe even plays a little bit better, but it's not that convincing. What options do you have if you're the 49ers? You have a guy who, in all honesty, has played 3 years in Kyle Shanahan's system, is a young quarterback's age. I mean, how many 24-year-old quarterbacks have been to a Super Bowl, been to 2 NFC Championship games, been in the MVP conversation? Brock Purdy has done a lot. I get it, man. I get it. Clearly, limited physically. Clearly. He's small, doesn't have a strong arm. We know the bad weather stuff, but we've seen him run that Kyle Shanahan offense and have it look great. We know that he's mobile and he has playmaking ability. Also, just getting thrown into the wind against Miami, winning 8 games in a row, that's pretty good. We saw him in a Super Bowl pretty much match up with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree until he couldn't. But he did enough.
I know.
He did enough. There was never a fear when Purdy had the ball that they're scoring no matter what. Obviously, we're comparing him to Mahomes, but when Mahomes has the ball, he's scoring. I get it, and I agree with it. That's why I just think
there is good stuff to look at with Brock Purdy.
I know, but
just the physical stuff is tough to look over. I will admit, it's tough.
I'm just saying, but like you look at the difference between last year and this year, right? The team has clearly regressed in every aspect of the team. They've regressed, and he's regressed with them. He hasn't elevated them. Like you could say, oh, he carried them to 2 NFC championships back-to-back years in his first 2 years.
He did play great in that NFC championship game, Sage.
I know, but he's not carrying the boats here. He's not carrying the logs. Like a guy like Josh Allen, he's carrying the boats, right? You look at that, that's a carry job. I think Purdy's just only as good as the parts around him, and it seems like he's regressed. I'm sorry, like last year, number 1 against man coverage. This year, I think it's like 38th against man coverage. His ball, time to pass, it's gone down. He's holding on too long. I just don't think he trusts what he sees. His decision-making, it's gone down. And I don't know if this year it's one of those things where it just how the schedule lines up. I just feel like they've been in so many more, different various weather situation games. And you see it, right? Like in the snow, dude, if it wasn't in front of the sticks, he could not complete a pass. I get it. That's the snow. Say what you want. In the heat, ball slipping out of his hands.
I know.
Chase,
yeah.
We said it when we played the Cardinals. We're like, is it me or is this heat? And because I didn't think it was possible for the heat to affect a quarterback that much. And we're like, I guess it's the heat. Like what could it be? Yeah. Like how is the heat making this much of an impact? So when you need it to be that perfect, and we talked about it, the roster's only getting worse. I think what he had last year is as good of a roster, and I'll be damned. Like that's as good of a roster as you might see in your lifetime not win a Super Bowl, but it's only going to get worse from here, right? He was an older rookie. I think it's like a Bo Nix situation where he's closer to his peak than he is to like building up. And I just think like what you see is what you're going to get for the rest of his career. Maybe a few things improve, but when you come in and your decision-making is your strength and your arm ain't getting a lot better, I just think that this is what you got. So you kind of know what you got. Obviously, you make him play it out, see where he could take you with this roster, but it seems like you're trapped. I just think it's like a trap thing.
I don't know, Sage. I mean, do you blame? You got to throw some blame on the fact that guys like Deebo Samuel, clearly not the same guy. Brandon Ayuk tears his ACL. Christian McCaffrey's not out there the entire year. I mean, a lot of people have been throwing out the stats, but I'm pretty sure that was close to about like 40 touchdowns from last year, right? You lose a couple guys on the O-line.
Yeah, McCaffrey had to be like 25 himself almost.
The defense is clearly not the same defense. Kyle Shanahan deserves some blame here too. He's not been having the best play calling year at all.
John Lynch?
So maybe Sage will blame John Lynch too for the rest of the roster, but we've seen Brock Purdy in his first 2 years play really well. This year was obviously a little bit of a drop-off. Is that just related to the fact that the league has figured him out, or that the entire roster's been drained and there's nothing really around him this year? I will say, I mean, we're gonna keep on saying it till the cows come home. The stuff in weather is fucking frightening. Throw in a guy like that, $65 million a year, where you know your team's going to be in a big game situation in the next 4 years, where you got to go to a Green Bay, you got to go up to Seattle. Who knows? Maybe even Santa Clara. It's going to rain, and he can't get it to 10 yards past the sticks, right? That's scary. Makes you very hesitant to sign him. But, Sage, a lot of people always gloss over this fact when having these conversations. What's the alternative, right? What's the alternative?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because Kyle Shanahan's not going to go back and draft a guy. I really don't believe that. I think
it'll be a vet.
He's dipped his toes in there. Looked like a fool. I mean, I said it. I think Trey Lance is a top 3 bust of all time. I think they're Not going to go anywhere near the draft for a quarterback. Kirk Cousins, you going to pay that guy $40 million a year after what you're seeing? He literally just got benched by Michael Penix. Something that I would like, Trevor Lawrence, you're only paying Trevor Lawrence $55 million a year. Would you give up 3 first-round picks for him? So what are your options? I really don't think there are any. If you sign Brock this year, you get him at what the market rate is now compared to what it could be in a year. And I do think that a lot of quarterbacks have expiring contracts. I don't know the exact names, but there's going to be some more quarterbacks getting signed next year as well. So really what you're doing, you're just risking that it's going to be 5, maybe even, who knows, $10 million more per year if you wait till next year when you already know that you're going to sign Brock to an extension. It's tough. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow. We have our concerns. But if you know that you're not going to go for a guy in the draft, no one else in the league interests you, you maybe just got to say fuck it and put the money on there. Sage, like we brought up, this window's going to be over the next 2 to 3 years. I trust Parag. I trust all those guys to make the first couple of years of the deal spaced out to where you get a lot of the money in the last couple of years of the contract. So I feel like there will be ways to sign Brock and make it work in your favor for the next 2 to 3 years as you push for a Super Bowl. I don't disagree with you. I would, you know what, my first number one option would be to let him play it out this year. But I just don't think that's a reality. I really don't.
Hey, let me take you through the free agent quarterbacks for this offseason, right? I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to read through like realistic ones, right? Sam Darnold, the hot ticket going around, who, if you really look into it, turnover issue hasn't gone away, right? He has a really good situation with KOC where you see what Kirk Cousins is and you see what he looked like when he was with the Vikings and everything. Great running back, best receiver in the league, damn near, one of the best 2 options, TJ Hawkinson back. He has a really good situation, right? You saw what he was with the Panthers. You saw what he was on the Niners that 1 week he got to play. I'm not too hot on Sam Darnold. I don't know why he's the hot ticket going around.
That's been the number one thing going around right now.
Yeah, he's the
name.
Sam
Darnold for 45.
Zach Wilson, who I've seen. Justin Fields.
Nope.
Joe Flacco, Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo. You could talk me into that one. We could get into that one. And then Russell Wilson. So,
I mean, is Russ going anywhere the next couple of years?
What do you mean? Are you saying as opposed to is he leaving?
Are you saying that Russell Wilson's an option?
I'm saying he's an option. Yeah, no, I'm just reading the free agents. Like I'm saying, when you said what's the alternative, I'm just giving them to you. I'm not saying any of these are.
But we saw what happened with Matt Ryan as well in that Shanahan offense. The first year is always going to be an adjustment year for any quarterback. So even if you do bring a guy like Russell Wilson in there, he's old. Who knows? I still don't think he's that good. And compared to a guy like Purdy who's been there for 3 years, is that really a better option?
No, I don't think so, to be honest with you. I don't think there is a better option. That's why it's scary. That's why I said the Niners just feel like they're trapped, because you understand that when you don't sign Purdy, right? Because you're basically kicking, you're shutting the window. When you don't extend Purdy, you're shutting the window. You're saying, are we going to trade our long-term success of pursuing and finding a franchise quarterback to try and win now if we believe we could win now? My argument is I don't think they could win now. I think the roster got old. They're injury prone and they just aren't that same team. So I just think, how could you sign him? Right? You got to just kind of look for the next thing.
But if you look for the next thing, Sage, you really do punt away the next 2 to 3 years. And I think
you got to make.
I think the main difference in mine and your opinion is that you think they're done, right? You don't see any hope for this team. You kind of brought up with the John Lynch segment. You don't think that he's been doing good the past 4 years. You don't even see any good young guys on the roster. So what's the point? You have aging guys, they're getting injured. We don't have a shot to get back on that Detroit, Philly level just in the NFC alone. I'm different. I think that they have a lot of good pieces on the roster still. A lot of good cornerstone pieces as well. Those are key things that you need to have in the NFL. You just need to get rid of some of that dead money like Deebo Samuel, Javon Hargrave, Mooney Ward. Allocate that to the lines, guys all on the O-line, D-line, and you got to hit on your draft picks. I mean, that's just every team in the NFL. Like you brought up with Philly. They've been hitting all their picks the past 2 years. That's what allowed them to have a bounce-back year this year with getting guys like Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, improving the secondary that was probably their biggest struggle last year. So I think this team's still in the hunt. And you just got to lock up Brock. You got to make sure that you have a solid quarterback. If you don't have a solid quarterback, you really don't have anything in this league. Like I said, Sage, there's ways to move Brock's money in the contract to the later years where you still have space in the cap for the next 2 to 3 years when you're really pushing for a Super Bowl to get a good roster in there to get some depth. Also, you got $51 million rolling in to next year's salary as well. So that doesn't hurt either.
No, I get it. There's just too much to do, right? There's just like, it's not like an easy fix how Philly was. Philly, it seemed like they had the D-line, they had the O-line, they had the receivers. Obviously, you signed Saquon. You didn't really need to upgrade the running back. You upgrade the running back. I think with the Niners, it's you got to upgrade the O-line. You got to upgrade the D-line. You got to upgrade. Maybe you don't have to upgrade the receivers, but
I feel like everything else other than the O-line and the D-line, relatively solid, Sage. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but it's not like it's like a one-player fix is the issue. It's got to be a multiple-player fix for both sides.
The O-line's tough. The O-line's tough. When you look at, I will say, according to your PFF, McKivitz, not looking that bad, but I really don't like Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel.
I don't like Aaron Banks at all.
I mean, I think Jake Brendel is one of the worst centers in the league. That really does kill you, especially with that zone run game. And I don't like McKivitz either. So I think you need to do a major rehaul on that O-line. Also, you got Trent, so who knows? Is he going to be playing next year? Is he going to be playing in 2 years? You got to bring in a lot of new young pieces to that O-line and give Nick Bosa some help. I mean, that was what we kind of hung our hat on the past 3 years. Rushing 4, having the defense go through the D-line. That's not the case anymore, especially that interior, Sage. I think that's where they need to get their first pick. They need to get a fucking interior D lineman, just a run stopper, a guy who could get after the quarterback. Because now, if you get rid of Javon Hargrave, who else is in there?
Yeah,
you have nobody. You have nobody.
The bright side is you're going to get a top 15, maybe a top 10 pick, right? I would bet my bottom dollar they draft an interior D lineman. Although it hasn't gone well with Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas, third time's the charm. I think that you're scouting now, right? The scouting begins.
Hey,
now.
give him credit. Nick Bosa, that was a good pick.
The pick.
I will say, Sage, okay, because this is something you brought up in the past. I remember being down at San Diego State, listening to 95.7 The Game. Rod Brooks, or no, KMBR. Rod Brooks and Fitzgerald, the Warriors announcer. They were not sure about Nick Bosa. There was a lot of injury concerns with him coming out of Ohio State.
That's true.
A lot of people were saying, who was the guy that the Jets picked at number 3? Quinnen Williams?
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted to go with Quinnen Williams. Yeah. So even though we're kind of poo-pooing that as an obvious pick, it really wasn't if you look back at it.
He's a stud, though. You would have gone. He's not Nick
Quinnen
Bosa.
Williams?
Damn near not Nick Bosa, but it wouldn't have been Solomon Thomas.
It would have been a terrible pick, but Nick Bosa is the defensive player of the year, right? I think he's the highest defensive player in the league. So clearly they hit on that pick.
Yeah, no, I agree. Do you know what's funny? This is going to sound blasphemous. I love Bosa. I think great pick, whatever. I don't think he's as big a difference maker as some of these other DNs, but I don't know. That's just me. Like when I look at like a TJ Watt, a Myles Garrett, I think I'd take them over Bosa.
But that's a hard bar to set, Sage. When you're
I get it.
Hey, 2 of the best defensive players of the past 10 years. I don't see you on those guys' levels. Like, okay, what's wrong with being the third?
No, because you're bringing up the contract and stuff. I'm like, yeah, he's the highest paid, and you could look at that, but is he the best? Like, no.
No, I know. No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, right? He's like the most valued currently guy in the NFL.
No, I agree. I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make the decision. I'll say that. If I
So because you were a little bit more hesitant on Purdy, what do you think happens? Do they sign him this offseason?
I don't think they do, man. Like you see this whole thing, right? Like when the next guy's up, right? Whether it's Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Dak Prescott, 3 guys who were the next up, no matter their skill level. They were just the next up. You make them the highest paid quarterback. I think the Niners are a smart franchise. They're well run. They realize, okay, it never works. Like we have hindsight to our advantage now. We could tell you it hasn't worked. It's been a bust every time. And you kind of see it with Purdy, right? He's a good quarterback. Some days he's a great quarterback. Some days he's an awful quarterback, right? You don't pay guys in that caliber top tier money. So the price got to be right. If the price is $60 million, the price is wrong, bitch. And I just think you got to let him walk. You just got to agree to disagree.
See, I don't know, Sage. I think that with all these quarterback contracts, when you look at them 5 years down the road, they're not even going to be in the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks. So I think it's just something that you have to do. I mean, across the NFL, we see that where it's like, oh my God, you can't sign Kirk Cousins to $60 million. They do it. You can't sign Dak Prescott to $65 million. They do it.
Has it ever worked out where people are like, you can't sign him to this, and then they're like, oh, it was a good, like, I don't.
Yeah,
think
but
it's
also
ever
a lot of
worked
those teams, they don't have Kyle Shanahan as the coach, and they don't have guys like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Trent Williams. Like, there's a lot of other underlying factors of that too. The reality is that Brock Purdy's going to be the quarterback in 3 years. They're going to sign him. They're not going to go for anybody different. He gives you the best chance to win a Super Bowl, and I truly believe this, than any other realistic option out there for the next 2 to 3 years. So I think you just gotta bite the bullet and pay him. Just get it in right now before it gets even more expensive. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm happy to pay Brock Purdy $65 million. But that's just how the NFL works. Quarterbacks, there's only so many good ones out there, probably about 16. They're clearly the most important asset in all of football. So to get your hands on a good one, you're going to have to pay top dollar, even amounts that are going to make you a little bit uncomfortable. 49ers fans, probably a lot of them are going to be pissed off, but just get over it. You still got Shanahan. You got to just build up the O-line, D-line. You got good pieces around Brock. They're going to make the salary cap work for the next 2 to 3 years. Calma. It's not too bad. There's worse situations to be in.
It's the fear of the unknown, right? You don't sign Purdy, what do you do, right? So, I don't know. Just what direction do you want to take this team? Do you think you can win with another quarterback? I don't know. So,
well, okay. Think about it though. What would make you more pissed off? Let's get a little fun here.
Okay. I was going to say, I want to do this quarterback or Purdy too next.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, no, you go first.
I ask you or you ask me?
No. What were you going to ask me?
I'll ask you. So, all right. Jaguars, they got the first pick in the draft this year. They want to go with a different quarterback. They're tired of Trevor Lawrence. They're tired of his wife, everything. They want them out of town.
I think they're fifth pick now, right? Because they beat the
I'm saying hypothetical.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hypothetical, right? They're saying they want Shadur. They want to bring in Dion too. They're trying to get rid of Trevor Lawrence. They're like, hey, Sage, 2 first-round picks, you got him. $55 million a year.
What do you say?
Yeah.
I'd do it.
I think so too.
I think I'd do it, to be honest.
To be honest, though,
I bet on the pedigree.
That would be kind of classic for us to like take Trevor Lawrence and then he's just dog shit.
I'll say this.
And like we can't win. It's like, oh my God.
Situation
we fucking
matters.
Traded 2 first-round picks for Trevor Lawrence.
Situation matters, but I'll bet on the pedigree. He's big. He's mobile. He has
I think he's still a good quarterback. I really do.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I do.
The other thing is, I'm just such a hater because I just want him to be bad because he was like Nick Wright's golden child. So I was like, I got to root against this guy now. Same thing with
what
Caleb.
does he call him? The Prince?
The Prince who was promised.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just, he hasn't shown anything. He has that one playoff win. And other than that, it's like that game. I can't get that game against Buffalo. Was it Monday? It was a primetime game against Buffalo. Dude, he was missing throws with a clean pocket. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I would just bet on the
Trevor
pedigree.
Lawrence.
I really would.
I feel like Trevor Lawrence is a hard conversation because he hasn't done as much as Brock, right? But when you look at Trevor Lawrence, you just imagine that body, that arm, the throws that he can make on the football field in that Kyle Shanahan offense with guys wide open. You got a great run game. You got a great defense. You really just start to think, what could this really be, right? So it's enticing a little bit. I don't know if I'd pull the trigger, but I think I would. What about Kirk Cousins for $30 million?
No, fuck no, dude. He's washed. He's
$30
washed.
million? You wouldn't do it?
No, he's
Save about
washed.
$30 million.
No, he's washed. You want to get into Purdy or?
Yeah, is that not what we're doing?
Oh, let's do it. This or that. No, I just got out of the banner. I'll start from the top. I'll throw it up because I have the standings.
Okay, all right.
That way we could go quick through the first couple.
Oh, are
right?
you saying so? You're saying that this is no money involved, just straight up? Who would I rather have?
Yeah, just like ranking him amongst the other quarterbacks in the league to see where he actually deserves to be paid.
Oh, okay,
right?
are we doing the Colin Cowherd segment?
Yeah, exactly. This or that.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
And we could stop if we disagree. Mahomes.
Right. No.
Obviously not. Goff.
Tough.
I think
I'd say Jared
Purdy.
Goff. I think I'd
rather have Purdy. I don't know. I don't think Goff's that good. I just think they have a really good O-line. If their O-line, I think if you give Purdy that O-line, he looks really
It's close.
good.
It's close. And what I will say is that if anything, I should give the nod to Brock because Jared Goff's having one of his best years. He's leading one of the best offenses in the league. Brock Purdy's had a down year, and I'm still questioning it. So I guess I'd have to give the edge to Brock, but it's close.
Okay.
It's close.
Jalen Hurts.
Are we talking about for the Niners or just general?
Just in general.
Brock.
I'd rather have Brock too. Okay, I didn't think you'd
because
agree
I
with me
feel
there.
like Jalen Hurts, when you have that Philly O-line that allows him to
Exactly.
do the
It's the same thing as
you
golf.
got Saquon, you got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Like, it's set up perfect for him, and he still struggles in the pocket. So
He's a great.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's a great 1 yard rusher, but I think I'd rather have Brock, to be honest with
I
you.
think I'd rather have Brock too.
Dude,
think about it. Jalen Hurts last year, most turnovers in the NFL. A lot of people forget that. I don't. So you believe
his
you
total
believe in the
touchdowns
Eagles to make it to the Super Bowl? I truly think that he's going to hold them back a little bit. I do. I love the rest of that team, but I'm not too convinced on Jalen Hurts. He played a great Super Bowl. I will give him that. You know who else played a great Super Bowl? Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. Yep.
Eli Manning played in 2, right? So I don't know.
We agree there. So we only have 2.
I think I'd go Purdy.
We only have one definitive so far. Sam Darnold.
No, I'd go with.
Yeah,
I'd
rather have Brock too. I mean, they competed and they chose.
He's had a great year. But honestly, he's set up well in Minnesota. He has good weapons. He has a great play caller, and we've seen Sam Darnold the rest of his career. Give me 2 years of good football before I say that you're better than Brock Purdy. That's all.
Okay. So we have him too. Josh Allen. Nope.
Josh Allen.
Yeah. Nope.
Next question.
Yeah. Russell Wilson.
I'm taking Brock.
I'll take Brock too. Jordan Love. I'll take Love.
I think I'd rather take Brock.
I don't think you would, brother.
I think I would because, in all honesty, I've seen Jordan.
Okay.
I've seen Jordan Love.
You're gonna have Brock in the top 5
games. No, seriously, I've seen Jordan Love fuck up a lot of games. I think that Matt LaFleur right now clearly just trying to make it a run for a scheme. He really doesn't want to. He really doesn't want to put the ball in Jordan Love's hands a lot. Right? Because he's seen the mistakes that he's made, especially in big time situations where the Packers are basically in just don't fuck it up mode. And he does. So I think it's very close. I'm not saying it's Brock Purdy by a wide margin, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen Brock Purdy make a Super Bowl. I've seen him be an OT up in an OT against Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl. So I'm just going to have to say
Chase,
Purdy.
Put Purdy in Lambeau for his career and see what his numbers are. I'll leave it at that.
Well, okay, but that's different. That's because clearly if Purdy was in Green Bay, he's not getting anywhere close to $65 million. But he's in San Francisco, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, okay, but we're just saying, like, let's right. I get it, like you said, right? This has kind of been my point with him. I think I said it right at the beginning of the year. They're better when they kind of go away from him, when they run the ball, because he's so turnover prone. But some of the throws he makes and can make, he has a great arm. I just think I'd rather bet on that. Stroud.
I'll go with Stroud. I give Stroud a lot of shit, but I think the physical talent is just overwhelming compared to Purdy. So I think I'd have to go with Stroud.
Lamar.
Next question.
Dude, I think it's a debate.
Stop it.
I'm kidding.
Maybe a couple years ago you would get away with that take, but right now it's just come on, bro. You're crazy.
Okay. So I think that's 4 definitives and then one
we'll just say that'd be a 1970s football take. We'll just we'll label it that if you say that you don't want Lamar.
Bo Nix.
I take Bo.
Dude, come on.
No, I would. No.
So you have
everybody's gonna age on to this one.
You'll definitively take Bo Nix, but you won't even consider Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
I don't understand
this.
Is tough.
Come on,
this
bro.
Is tough.
Get his dick out of your mouth right away. Seconds. Okay, I will say right away I was playing the Denver Broncos fan character that I've been playing all year. Bo Nix, it's tough. I really do believe in Bo Nix, but
you do. No, I don't doubt that you believe in him. It's the crazy part.
I believe in the potential, but okay. I haven't seen the full potential yet. I've seen Brock do great things. I'm gonna go with Brock Purdy, but it's close. It's close.
Okay. You know where
Colin Coward. Hey, Uncle Colin said Bo over Purdy. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with Uncle Colin on everything.
Has that guy given one?
That is an opinion that's out there. That's an opinion that's out there.
Did you see their take yesterday? It was like inside the NBA is bad for the NBA. It's like, all right, just change the dial, turn the channel. Jaden Daniels. I think we're both taking Jaden.
Yeah, you gotta say so. I mean, dude just oozes talent. Has an arm. He could run around. I mean, dude looks like a fucking praying mantis out there and just is slinging it down the field. He looks great.
So we have Purdy at
Sage, I need a big next 2 weeks out of him in the fantasy playoffs.
6. So we have wait, yeah, we have Purdy at 7 right now. Baker.
Okay.
I'm going
Ooh.
Baker. I'd rather have Baker.
No, I can't go Baker. I'm going Brock Purdy.
All right, so that's 2 we've disagreed on.
This year, a lot of people are going to have the Baker over Brock take.
Bro, last year too.
It's going to look good now, but the reality is that Baker Mayfield really hasn't done anything in this league. He's won a couple playoff games. I'll give him that. He won a playoff game in Cleveland, won a game last year with Tampa Bay. Yeah, he's slinging it around, but Baker Mayfield is way more mistake prone than Brock Purdy.
For sure.
I think that even Kyle Shanahan, he gave a lot of props to Baker Mayfield when they played him leading up to that game. But if you talk to Kyle Shanahan, he would definitely take Brock over Baker, in my opinion. I'm going with Brock Purdy.
Okay. Stafford.
I'd take Stafford.
Okay. I agree. Herbert.
I'd take Herbert.
Okay. So we have Purdy at 9, but then obviously we're going through the bad teams now. Geno Smith.
Purdy.
Kirk Cousins / Penix.
Purdy.
Kyler.
I'd rather have Kyler Murray.
Okay. I agree. 10. Anthony Richardson. No debate.
No, fuck no. He's not going to be in the league in 3 years.
I mean, would you take Tua? I wouldn't.
No, Tua's a nightmare, man. I mean, Tua's weird because there's some games where you'll watch and be like, dude, he's just zinging it in there. Throws for like 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. You're like, oh, shit. We maybe have to give this guy a little bit of credit. Then he'll have a game where he just looks so small. The secondary can just read 2 seconds before he throws the ball where he's going. It looks so bad. Dolphins fans are kind of getting fooled by Tua. I would not take him over Brock Purdy.
Dude, I think they're off him now. Honestly, I've seen they've been turning on him a lot. You saw what Tyreek Hill said the other day. Like, I think they're kind of starting to side against him. I mean, I
think you got to. It just looks like if you're in a Super Bowl mindset where you want everybody's in a Super Bowl mindset, right? But realistically, I think that only about 10 teams could realistically say that they can win a Super Bowl. I just don't think you're ever in that top 10 with Tua as your quarterback. That's just me. I think there's a lot of great pieces around him. We hyped up that Miami defense all year. We know the weapons. Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith this year, really big player. The key guy that's not performing is Tua. So he's had everything around him. He hasn't performed.
We agree on this.
Yeah. So I got
Burrow, right? Burrow.
Next question.
Okay, there's the Niners. Dak. I think this one's actually got more interesting this year.
I got Brock. I hate Dak.
I don't like Dak either.
I think Dak is a fugazi, man. Dak's a fugazi.
I agree. To be honest with you, I agree.
He's the 35 touchdown a year, 8 interception fugazi. We see it every time in big games. We see it every time in the playoffs. He's just not the guy. He's not the guy.
It's all garbage time. It's all garbage time.
We all know it. That's another similar thing with Tua where you see the numbers and you're like, you got to take this guy over Purdy. But when you really watch it, when you see him in the biggest moments, it's not there. Purdy's the opposite. You got to be fair with Purdy, even to the people who don't want the 49ers to sign him. In the biggest games, he really does usually play good. I mean, this year's been different, but I haven't seen him play one really bad playoff game. Maybe except for that Packers game in the rain, but he led the game-winning drive at the end. That's all that really matters. Dak Prescott's the complete opposite. So I got to go with Purdy over Dak.
Okay. It seems like you're forgetting CeeDee Lamb, but that's it.
What did I say?
I'll say that he doesn't have anyone.
What did I say? I said that Dak doesn't have anybody?
I don't know. I just saw you getting lit up in the chat saying you forgot CD.
I did not say that Dak doesn't have nobody.
Okay. So what we're at right now is we have him at 11 agreed with 2 disagreements. So say best case for both of us 11, worst case 12. Saints.
We got a couple more. We got to have a couple more names. Right?
Yeah. Derek Carr.
I would take Purdy over Derek Carr. No problem.
Agreed. No need to spend time there. Aaron Rodgers. Stop.
I can't say Aaron Rodgers. I'd rather
Brock
come
Purdy.
On, bro.
The
dude is dead in the pocket. He can't move around.
Stop.
Especially with the issues that you see with the O-line this year. Imagine just Jake Brendel getting pushed right into Aaron Rodgers within a half second. It'd be a nightmare. You got to go with Purdy.
No. Purdy over Rodgers, easily, in my opinion.
Yep.
Caleb.
We already know where I stand. I think Caleb.
I'd rather have Caleb.
I think Caleb is disgusting. In the pocket, No, but I don't mean to be mean to Caleb, but he has no feel in the pocket. He's an emotional nightmare. I mean, minus the nail painting, which I'll be honest with you, I don't really care. We don't have the big fallen. I don't like that much. Also, did you see what he was doing on the bench last game?
I mean,
is that going to be your leader? Is that the guy? Is that your Maximus from Gladiator that's going to lead you out into the battlefield? Come on, man. That's terrible. That's bad signs. He has no feel in the pocket. What do you see with Bus, who are very talented at the quarterback position all the time? What's the number one thing that they don't have? Feel in the pocket, awareness. He has none of it, Sage.
He does have
none of it.
That's
Purdy has a lot of the aspects that all the Bus quarterbacks don't have. Those are actually his strengths. So I'm telling you,
but he has
in this kind of offense, Sage, especially with a team like the Niners, where it's like, hey, we're not satisfied with an 8-win season where you look pretty good towards the end of the year. Like, we're trying to win a motherfucking Super Bowl. A guy like Brock Purdy, way better than Caleb Williams.
I don't know about way better. I'm just saying, like, the things Caleb lacks, you could teach. The thing Brock lacks, you can't teach. You gotta just shove him in the gym.
And that's big. That's big.
It is big. It is big. I'm just saying, like, we could disagree. It's really, for me, it's like I could go either way on it. But I'm just
go to our
YouTube
channel. Go to our YouTube channel. We argue about this a couple times.
The Cleveland ensemble of Deshaun, Dorian, Thomas Robinson, and Jameis. I think I might rather have Jameis.
I think the better question is what happens with Deshaun Watson.
All right, next podcast. All right, so we're at 12.
Can we not bring that up? Chat, is Deshaun Watson going to be back with Cleveland? Also, actually, I'm not going to get in any trouble, Sage. I'm not going to make any Deshaun jokes today.
We got a few more. So we're like best case scenario, we're at Purdy with 12 with 3 disagreements. 2 from me, 1 from you. Trevor Lawrence.
I'm interested in the potential, Sage. I mean, we just brought it up. We said that
betting on the pedigree,
but
I don't get you.
I think for this one, in different situations, I have different answers, right?
Can I read you?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying in different situations, I have different answers. If you just gave me a blank canvas and said, "Who's my quarterback?" I take Trevor. But if you're trying to just have a guy be a quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's system, where really you just need to hit the open guy, don't fuck it up. You gotta have good feel in the pocket, maybe move around a little bit. Big third downs, move the chains with your legs. I take Brock. So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
I hate that this is turning into something it shouldn't be, because I know this is going to get a reaction out of you, but let me just read this to you, okay? Trevor Lawrence rookie year numbers. 3,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, led the league in fumbles lost, I believe. Caleb Williams, 3,000 yards right now, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. One guy you'll bet on the pedigree, one guy like who's a rookie and 4 years younger is like, I get it. Trevor has like some of the same issues as Caleb. It's the other shit, right? It's missing the open read. It's no feel in the pocket, always getting sacked, never feeling the defender behind him, losing a lot of balls. I get it, but like, I feel like what's the opposite of rose-colored glasses? I feel like brown-colored glasses. That's what you look at Caleb through. It's like he could do no right in your eyes. But we'll put Trevor. So we have Brock at 13, being as optimistic as possible.
So I think let's just go with, because it's so 50-50, I said that I'd rather have him on the Niners. Let's just say that we take Brock over Trevor. I think that's fair.
Okay. So we're at still 12 for Brock.
Yeah.
Titans, Rudolph. No one,
Levis.
right?
I mean, I think this is the most questionable thing in all of the NFL. The mayonnaise in the coffee. I mean, what the fuck is that? That's almost like serial killer level shit. Sage,
okay. Yeah. I mean, dude.
Well, what the fuck is that?
It was a red flag at the draft.
I mean, I get milk and sugar, fucking oat milk.
What about
almond milk? Fucking mayonnaise? Come on, bro.
Do you trust his coffee takes after seeing his decision making as a quarterback? Like,
what about his girlfriend, Gia Duddy? You've been hearing about her?
I have no comment. I know certain people are
chat. Check out the videos that are on the interwebs. That bad.
Back to football. Patriots. Drake May.
I take Drake May.
I would too. So Purdy at 13 now.
Drake May, man. How excited are you if you're a Patriots fan with Drake May?
Dude, I love this guy.
He looks he looks like a fucking stud.
Dude, he's such a good runner. It's crazy. Like, I never like knew this. I didn't watch any North Carolina.
Why wouldn't you expect him to be a runner with the ball? Be an athletic quarterback?
Because he's a gym rat, bro. He's more of a in the pocket guy. I just wouldn't expect it, to be honest with you. I didn't understand that he had legs like this. It's like genuinely shocking. Do you know, I swear to God, it's going to be blasphemous, but I'm saying only the way he runs. The way he runs reminds me of Mahomes, where he doesn't look fast, but he's just outrunning everyone. And you're just like, how's he doing this? That's where it's kind of just like surprising, I guess.
He kind of has a slipperiness to him, even though it doesn't look like you would have it.
Yeah.
Right?
So, okay. So Purdy at 13, Carolina, Bryce Young, no.
No.
Vegas, no. Giants, no.
That's
So
it?
Purdy, so we have Purdy at 13 with the following disagreements. We disagreed on Jordan Love. We disagreed on Baker Mayfield. And we disagreed on who else? We had a third one.
Caleb? Do you say Caleb?
No, I didn't count Caleb. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so best case 13, worst case 15. Sound good?
Sound good, my man. I mean, they're going to sign him. I mean, we know it's
Donald. Yeah.
What is the next? I mean, I know we're going to probably get into this tomorrow, but really quickly here for the guy. I mean, we got 22 people on the stream. What do the next 3 games mean? Like, how important are the next 3 games? Have they already made their decision, the 49ers, on what's going to happen? Or do you think the next 3 games have a genuine impact on what's going to be going on?
So I don't think they've made the decision, but I don't think these next 3 games are going to have an impact. I think it's all about next season. If the decision hasn't been made, in my opinion.
See, what I think is, I think they've made their decision. I think they know that they're going to sign Brock. I think that they're just going to be negotiating. I don't know if they've agreed on how much they're going to pay him, but they're like, hey, like, we're going to go with the first offer, like $45 million. This is our cutoff point. And they're going to try to get somewhere in the middle. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because I don't see the Niners budging and I don't see Brock Purdy holding out. So I think this could last until next year. Like you brought up, Sage. I really do.
Yeah. I think that's eventually what's going to happen. I don't think the Niners are confident in paying him. They see the repercussions around the league, like what it means when you pay a quarterback who's not worth it this much money. We don't have to beat a dead horse here.
Not every team has Kyle Shanahan calling plays though.
I do get that, but I get it, but then you just cripple your roster. So
right, I mean, with those teams like Dak Prescott, you have Mike McCarthy. With Kirk Cousins, you had Mike Zimmer, right? Doug Peterson with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. I feel like a lot of these, I mean, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, right? So I feel like a lot of these situations where the quarterbacks who are questionable on whether they should get paid or not, and the team eventually does pay them, they're used as evidence that you shouldn't go ahead and make those deals, but it seems like there's always a key factor in there, and that's they have a bad coach too. So if you have a good culture around him and you have a great play caller on offense like Kyle Shanahan, who's elite, I mean, he's had a bad year this year, but I think it may be a little bit different.
I mean, they had a little bit different. They had it Thursday night. Couldn't score a touchdown when they needed to most. So,
no, that's true. But all right, Sager.
Yeah.
Anything else you think?
No, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll come back with our preview of the game Sunday. We're excited to get into the Tua versus Purdy debate.
Tua versus Purdy debate. Sager, the first couple minutes of that stream, man, what the fuck happened there? I think I had the audio. Yeah, I had it open from when I created it. So it was like on a hidden fucking tab. It was one that's like not on the screen, but like, you know, when you have to flip it to the sides or something.
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm not the best at explaining text, but that fucked me up for a second. I'm like, is that coming from you? Like, are you doing this on purpose, doing this during my intro? But yeah, so we're going to let that go. But we're going to come out tomorrow. What are we going to do? We're going to do a little Dolphins preview, right?
We got our best bets out there.
We're going to get our best bets out there. Sager, I went 3-1, baby. 2-game lead now.
1-3.
I think I'm at 20. What was it? 22-12 or 24-12 last week?
Yeah, 24-12. So that makes you.
So I'm at 20.
13.
So I'm at 27-13.
25-15 for me.
How you feeling? How you feeling about the slate, man?
This is the most
shitty Sunday slate. I mean, I don't really know
about
the suck. The games suck. I haven't been looking at the lines that much. I need to dive deep into it tonight and tomorrow.
The most I've liked the board in a few weeks. I thought we got a 3-week stretch there of just the worst board ever. Like ever. The fact that I went those like 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago going 6-2 in that stretch was a miracle. I felt like, but last week it kind of, you know, everything lines up. Everything comes back to get you. Water finds its level. So looking to get back on my feet this week.
There we go. Oh, do you want to do a little Q&A, Sage? I got a little time.
Let's do that Saturday. Let's do a Q&A show Saturday. or
Why?
Friday.
We got some guys on the stream right now.
I gotta run.
Do a little Q&A. You gotta run?
Yeah,
Where you gotta go? What is Pesto calling you?
at my house.
What do you mean? Why does it matter?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we got BK. BK wants to do it, man.
All right, let's do it.
No, I'm kidding. But all right, guys. We're going to catch you guys tomorrow. Sage, what time are you thinking tomorrow?
I don't know. We could come back late afternoon.
I'm thinking late. You're thinking afternoon, huh? What about like 4:00 again? What if we just shot for 4:15?
Beautiful. Works for me.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna come at you guys at around 4:15 tomorrow. We're gonna do a little Dolphins Niners preview. We're gonna do our 4 best bets. Who knows? We may come up with a couple other things, but yeah, that's gonna be it for the stream today. Thank you for everybody who came on today. Please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We do this shit for free, but if we could do it for money, we'd rather do that. So please, we're trying to build up that subscriber amount. Try to get some fucking advertisers in here. So yeah, please do that, and we'll talk to you guys later.